We will continue our series on loving parent. And the one I wanted to do tonight was guiding. Oh, for some reason, Siri thought I was talking to her on my phone. Let me make her stop talking. Um, so we did nurture and we did protect the last 2 weeks. And tonight I thought it would be a good idea to do guide. And it's probably not a coincidence that this came up for me quite a bit today. And I really didn't put two and two together until about an hour ago when I was laying here with Finney as he was showing me all his WWE moves. He knows at least 25 wrestlers. I don't know any of their names, but anyway, he's showing me all his wrestling moves. And I sat here thinking, oh, what are we going to do tonight? And CFR. And what came up was this guy was guidance, thinking, well, I'm not guiding him very well because I don't even think I could stay up when I think it was WWF when I was a kid. Anyway, I couldn't even stay awake long enough to watch it on the TV. And I'm just sitting here. He wants me to guess the names of the moves. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. The ones I remember are from like literally 25, 30 years ago. I don't even think they're still on. Anyway, it made me think about guidance, and it made me think about as I was laying here with him and we were giggling, um, what does it mean at each stage of our life, and where do we look for when it comes to guidance? When I think about being a little girl and my mom and my dad having the role of guiding me, I think of, I don't know, pretty concrete things like making sure I had food and if we went to school and, you know, uh, maybe you don't know, but for me, it was the typical rules that they made sure we followed. And as an adult, now I'm 45, and while um, my dad is no longer a part of my human experience, my mom is, and her role is very different for me at 45. Um, it is less about need and more about want. And our dynamic looks really different compared to the dynamic I see she has with my sisters. And when I think about guidance, I think about what am I doing differently? How am I guiding my boys differently than how I was guided? When I was guided, I remember looking back, and if someone were to ask me when I was Finney's age, he's now 8, believe it or not. Um, he just turned 8 at the end of the month. I would have said hard work, being nice, and acting like a lady. I can't say that last one without laughing, but it's what I would have said at 8 years old for sure. And I think if I were to ask Finn now, how does mommy guide you? How does mommy guide you in knowing how to be an 8-year-old? I do think he would say, um, we use the word kind, not nice. It's important to be kind, and we have fun, and we snuggle. I really think that's what he would say. I'll circle back next week and let you know after I ask him. And so there's a part of that that I have a lot of gratitude because I don't know that I've ever sat here and thought about this topic. But when I think of guidance, I think of, you guys are going to kick out of this. If you watch TV or see ads on whatever device you're watching, one of my favorite not cartoons, one of my favorite commercials, I think it's Allstate. It's the guy that does the insurance, but he's all beat up. Like, he shows you why it's important to have a car. When I think about the guides, and this is not a cheap shot on my grandparents either. That's the guide that I think is closest to maybe what my parents got. Like, how to do everything backwards, and how to learn from the mistakes rather than learn from doing it right. And I'm sitting here and, again, not about blame and faults, just about fact. It's interesting because I do have, it is my own personal belief system. This is not a recovery belief system, but I'm willing to share. It is my own personal belief system that I chose them. And so I'm thinking, wow, that's an interesting guide to have with this experience in this life. And so as you're thinking of your guides from childhood versus your guides that you choose to have as an adult, there are things I still go to my mom for as a guide. And there's also this circle of women that I choose to have in my life that strongly influence most of my daily decisions. And I put them there. And none of them are genetically related to me. So I guess what I want to close with is, when it comes to guidance as kids, as little ones in this human experience, we may not get to decide what's right or wrong because it's mom and dad. And so we just assume they're always right. And the older I get, I realize the guidance they had, or the guidance I got, is all they had to give me. And now I'm tasked with finding the guidance I need and offering that along with what I got to my boys. It's like I don't ever have to stop guiding. And I'm not sure that I ever looked at it that way before tonight. I look at guiding a lot when it comes to my role as a healer. I feel that that is my role, is to guide. It's not to tell, it's not to decide for anyone. It's more of a fellow traveler role. And when I look at my role as mom and as loving parent to myself, I kind of feel pretty proud of the guidance that I've brought into my life, knowing that I needed more, but also that I wanted more. Because now, um, I really can't think of a decision in my adult life that I have to make by myself. And that feels really good. Like, I could if I wanted to, around my marriage, around parenting, around friendships. I made a really, really big girl decision today as a business owner, as a consultant, as a professional woman. Wow, I don't know if I've ever said that before. I guess I am that. As a professional woman, I made a very big decision on a big contract, and I walked away from it. And I said, no, this is not okay. And it was really hard for me to do that. It was really hard for me to say no. And I've been collecting guidance around this decision for about 3 weeks. And today, I just knew it. I knew it in my body when it was happening. And I went ahead and said, no, thank you. This will be it. Afterwards, I knew it was the right decision, and I knew the guidance I got helped me to get there because I felt immediate relief. And I've come to learn that that's what good guidance, that's what helpful, supportive guidance, meaning not someone telling me what to do. That doesn't really help me anymore. It usually feels unsolicited versus when someone makes suggestions or offers feedback or points out something that, that's really out of character for you." Like, when I get things reflected back to me, that feels like guidance. And I love that, I'm not the only one in really any domain or area of my life that has to make a decision by myself. And I don't know that I give myself, uh, the opportunity to be as proud of that as I wish that I would. In my recovery process, in my recovery program, I'm very safe, I'm very protected, and I got a lot of wisdom around me. I really appreciate you guys' shares. It brought up a lot more for me, and I think I wanna do this series more often because when I'm thinking of guidance, there's so many different ways that we can be guided. I'm even thinking of the quiet guidance that I'd gotten at times that was completely nonverbal. And